This powerful blessing has been passed down through generations, the blessings of Jacob for Ephraim and Manasseh. The tradition serves as a sacred one, in which Jewish fathers blessed their sons in accordance with it. Yet how were two completely anonymous figures able to receive Jacob's great blessing? How is it possible that Moses and Aaron, one of the well-known brothers, did not receive a similar blessing to them? Let's begin. Joseph, the son of Jacob, served as the deputy to the king of Egypt and skillfully managed the empire with authority and efficiency. Joseph married Asenath, and together they were blessed with two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. These special children were distinguished by their unwavering loyalty to God and His Bible, despite growing up in royal status among the Gentiles. Despite everything they could receive and take, they remained unaffected by the spoiled environment and did not suffer from the phenomenon of intoxication. On the contrary, they were privileged to ascend to the rank of the sons of Jacob, the generation that preceded their own. This was announced by Jacob to his son Joseph. The names Manasseh and Ephraim symbolize the emotional turmoil that Joseph experienced in his life. The name Manasseh suggests that Joseph is in a place that tears him apart and makes him forget his father's house, which makes him long to be there. Ephraim, on the other hand, symbolizes the praise and the elevation and advantage that Joseph reached here in Egypt. Manasseh the elder served as his father's right-hand man in the administration of the empire. He was deeply involved in worldly affairs, including matters of governance, the economy, and international relations. Young Ephraim dedicated himself to studying the Bible together with his grandfather, Jacob. The story of the blessing begins when Joseph made a promise to his father Jacob that he would not be buried in Egypt. Then, moments before Jacob's death, a significant moment unfolds. Before his death, Jacob asked his son Joseph to bring his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, so that he could bless them. When Joseph came to Jacob with his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, Jacob sat on his bed to honor him. He then prophesied that Manasseh and Ephraim would become two tribes, receiving two portions of land in the same way as the other sons of Jacob. Now then, your two sons born to you in Egypt before I came to you here will be reckoned as mine. Ephraim and Manasseh will be mine, just as Reuben and Simeon are mine. Genesis 48 verse 5. Afterward, Joseph brings his sons closer to their grandfather, and he turns to him. When Israel saw the sons of Joseph, he asked, "Who are these?" "They are the sons God has given me here," Joseph said to his father. Then Israel said, "Bring them to me so I may bless them." Genesis 48 verses 8 to 9. Joseph presented young Ephraim to the left of Jacob, and the elder Manasseh to the right of Jacob. When Jacob placed his hands on their heads to bless them, he intentionally turned his hands and positioned his right hand on the head of Ephraim, the younger, and his left hand on the head of Manasseh, the elder. The verses provide valuable insights into the condition of Jacob's hands during the blessing of Manasseh and Ephraim, specifically highlighting Ephraim's precedence over Manasseh. When Joseph saw his father placing his right hand on Ephraim's head, he was displeased, so he took hold of his father's hand to move it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to him, "No, my father, this one is the firstborn, put your right hand on his head." Genesis 48 verses 17 to 18. According to the interpretation, Joseph says to Joseph, "Not like that, my father. I mean, haven't we suffered enough? Wasn't it enough that you put jealousy between me and my brothers with jealousy of the striped shirt, and now you put jealousy between my sons." Jacob teaches Joseph that if there had been more humility and listening on his part, the whole story of his sale could have been avoided. If he had been more attentive, he could have been careful and not aroused jealousy in his brother. Then Jacob answers, "I know, my son, I know. He will also be a nation, but his younger brother will be greater than him and his seed will be full of nations." Jacob says to Joseph, "Don't underestimate my understanding, I know, and everything is directed, I knew, in the past, and I know for the future. Humility on the part of the young is necessary, true, something new is beginning, but if the new is not humble towards the old, it will absorb from it, and only from that, will build a strong nation." Let us remember the 10 Commandments, with a special focus on the final commandment, "You shall not covet." This is how it has been since the creation of man. Cain killed Abel because God chose Abel's offering. Ishmael mocked Isaac because he was the firstborn and chosen to be Abraham's firstborn. Esau threatened to kill Jacob because Jacob had stolen Isaac's blessing from him. Out of jealousy for Jacob's love towards Joseph, his firstborn, Joseph's brothers threw him into the pit. And here, when Jacob placed Ephraim in front of Manasseh, he observed that Ephraim displayed humility and Manasseh did not harbor any jealousy towards Ephraim. And that's why he blessed them, saying, "In you shall Israel bless." This correction is the deepest one since the creation of the world, as depicted in the story of Ephraim and Manasseh. That's why the blessing is so powerful. That is the way, for all future generations, every father who wants to bless his son and wish him the best will bless and say, "May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." Genesis 48 verse 20. When we examine the order of events mentioned in the verses, this becomes understandable. Initially, Jacob blessed them with the blessing of the redeeming angel only. And it was only after Joseph mistakenly believed that his father did not know who the older and who was the younger, that Jacob said to him, "I know, my son, I know." Jacob was thrilled to envision true brotherly love in his mind's eye. At first, the two sons, like their father Joseph, believed that Jacob did not know who was older. However, after hearing the words of grandfather Jacob, who speaks with great wisdom and guidance from his Holy Spirit, he too will become a people, and he too will become great. Nevertheless, his younger brother will be greater than he, and his descendants will become a group of nations. Genesis 48 verse 19. And yet, the elder did not envy the younger. He was truly happy, basking in the joy and glory of his own greatness. Likewise, the younger brother did not condescend to his older brother. Instead, he remained humble and held a pure love for his older brother. In this spirit, Jacob said, "This is how every father should bless his sons, so that they may experience pure and true unity." And there is another reason: Ephraim and Manasseh grew up in Egypt, not Israel. Even in the face of a foreign and seductive culture, they managed to hold on to their values. Jacob understands that his children will grow up in a complex world. He wishes for them to know how to maintain their spark and resilience in the face of all the challenges they may encounter. Recognizing their greatness, Jacob determined that the children of Israel would be blessed to be like Ephraim and Manasseh. He blessed them that day and said, "In your name will Israel pronounce this blessing, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." Genesis 48 verse 20. Achieving such pure, true love is the biggest challenge. However, The path to reaching this high level begins with faith and confidence in God, who provides each individual with exactly what they need for their perfect correction. This is an inspiring example of a parent who successfully raised children and experienced personal growth that lasted forever. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. You can share with us what you know by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. Thank you so much and see you next time.